So, you want to know how to do the returning 0-hour exotic mission to get the craftable Outbreak perfected as a solo player? I got you covered. I'm going to show you what loadouts to bring and exactly how to do the entire thing so you can ace it in about 25-30 minutes. You can obviously apply these strategies to a run with the full fire team if you like, but I know a lot of people like running solo, so I'm doing it solo to demonstrate that it is very much possible and not half bad. As far as the loadout goes, you'll notice I have Graviton Lance equipped here to begin the mission. I highly recommend bringing Graviton Lance, Risk Runner, and Polaris Lance. If you don't have all of these weapons yet, though, Polaris Lance is definitely the most important one by far, so if you don't really want to worry about swapping and bringing a bunch of stuff, just Polaris Lance will do. Also bringing a Mountaintop. You could go really any kinetic grenade launcher here. You can go disorienting grenade launcher if you want. I just like Mountaintop a lot. Felt really good in this mission, and you'll see why. Got auto-loading recombination on it. And then down here, I've got my Apex Predator, Reconstruction Bait and Switch. Obviously a raid rocket, but you can get it without raiding through the wishes that you can pick up from Marasov and Helm. But any rocket will do here. You're not forced to use Apex Predator or even Mountaintop for that matter. Just my recommendations. As far as subclass setup goes, love having on your mark. You can probably go knock them down or Gunpowder Gamble. It's up to you. Healing Grenade, Knife Trick, Gambler's Dodge, and Golden Gun Marksman, since we are going with Celestial Nighthawk. For fragments, I've got Torches, Empyrean, Singeing, Solace, and Ashes. And then for the mod setup, just investing into solar weaponry, since I am primarily going to have Polaris Lance on for the majority of this mission. So Harmonic Siphon, since I'm on solar subclass, Harmonic Loader, Harmonic Scavenger, that's mainly for the Apex Predator. Double Solar Weapon Surge, we got Reaper, Time Dilation, and Powerful Traction on the class item. Impact Induction and Focusing Strike up on the gloves. And then I'm going triple arc resistance. You could probably go double arc resistance and maybe swap to a single solar resistance when you get to the boss room if you want to, because the boss is going to come in as a brig and the raining missiles are obviously solar. So you could go with that. Triple arc will probably have you good to go either way. Oh, and as far as artifact mods, of course, make sure you have all the solar mods, Flint Striker, Kindling, Heart of the Flame, and Raise. And then, of course, make sure you have Solo Operative on if you're doing the solo, because, 15% bump. So, time remaining, I've got 38 minutes on this mission. I think when you load in, you start with 40 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. I doubt you guys are going to need that much time, though. With these strategies, it should be pretty basic and pretty simple. So, going to start out here. I'm actually going to sling a Mountaintop at these Sniper Shanks back here and hopefully take out both of them before I even have to walk into this arena. And the main reason I want to do that before I walk into this arena is because I have a ton of, you can kind of see them right there, Invis Vandal sword guys that are going to rush me. That's why I love the Mountaintop here. Use the healing grenade, use the throwing knives. I think there's 4 of them if I'm not mistaken. And then we have the Graviton Lance back out to chip away at all of the Void Shields. Like I said, you can totally have Polaris Lance on for this part. It really doesn't matter. I just have the Graviton Lance on because it speeds things up a little bit. But if you don't really want to deal with the weapon swapping, you don't have to by any stretch of the imagination. So, we're going to keep cranking through these dudes. Pull out the Mountaintop whenever it's auto-loaded. Love that auto-loading holster on the Mountaintop. Just feels great. And then once we're done with this batch, I'm actually going to keep the Graviton on for just a brief moment because it does give me some pretty nice range, and you're going to see why. We've got a Sniper Shank coming up on one of the towers as we initially poke our head out here. And so we're definitely going to want to take that out first. So you can see him right there. You're going to have some enemies to your left, so be a little careful. But after we take that sniper out, we can go ahead and switch our Risk Runner. Obviously, all these Shanks are going to deal arc damage, and they're going to have arc shields. And so having Risk Runner out makes them a complete piece of cake. We get our infinite ammo, break the shields, smoke all the Shanks. Just trying to tap that guy from a distance. And then for these tankier enemies, we got the auto-loading Mountaintop. Take them out from a distance. Nice and easy. When we come over and round this corner, we're going to have Brig. And this is where we're going to want to start to use our rockets, our heavy, and our auto-loading Mountaintop to try and take his faceplate off. The second his faceplate is off, we should have our Golden Gun available at this point. Pop the Goldie, and he's dead just like that. Clean up the rest of these Vandals. I'm kind of working over on the right side. I have primarily Sniper Shanks up right now, so I'm keeping that in mind. I'm going to keep the Risk Runner on just for the arc damage resistance that I get whenever they shoot me, even though they don't have arc shields. Kind of difficult to hit it from up there. That's what the Mountaintop's for, and then we have one more right over here. Take that dude out, and we are perfectly good to go. Scavenge a bunch of ammo. And then as we come up on this next section, this is where we're going to go ahead and switch to Polaris Lance. And we're going to have Polaris Lance on for pretty much the rest of this mission. Like I said, you can run exclusively with Polaris Lance for this entire mission if you want. Those first 2 sections are going to be a little choppier because you're not going to be able to break all those shields, but doesn't really matter that much. Second we come out here, we're going to have 2 Sniper Vandals and some Sniper Shanks right here, so we're going to use our Polaris to go ahead and take them out. And then we're just going to chip away at all of these Vandals on these balconies or the scaffolding as we inch our way out. Take out all the Tracer Shanks, anything that can snipe us. This is where we love Polaris Lance. Got a ton of solar shielded Shanks right there. And then we're just going to get our precision hits on these Servitors so that we can proc our 5th shot and pause our ignitions and just blow everything up. Can also make use of the mountaintop as well once the auto-loading holster procs in. And yeah, you got a couple invis enemies here that you got to be careful of. Keep things nice and simple. And then as we peek our head out here, gonna have a couple more Vandals that it looks like we're on the low ground that we couldn't quite see from that position. Take them out nice and easy. And then we make our way here to the Walker. You can kind of use whatever you want on him. I just like to pop my Nighthawk and shoot the stomach. And I see I have a ton of heavy ammo right there, so I'm just gonna rip heavy and special at these Servitors because I know I'm gonna get all of my ammo back right after I pick up this stuff. Would help if I actually hit them, I suppose, but you know, yeah, like look at all that heavy. Just shoot rockets all day long. Okay. So we're gonna keep on going. Use good old mountaintop here. Gonna be a little careful of this guy. Ooh, miss with the mountaintop. I don't think you have to kill these enemies, but in my opinion, it makes things a little bit safer. Because in that room, you do have to kill all the enemies. So we can get a little finisher. Play things nice and slow. These corridors are a little bit more close range as well, so you could probably justify switching back to like Brisk Runner or something like that if you really wanted to. I don't think it's going to be super necessary, so I'm not going to do it. As you can see, the Polaris Lance is working just fine. Killed all those enemies, then we're going to make it through this next corridor. And we have a couple more hallways of enemies, and then we get to the jumping section, the kind of like the mysterious pathing section where like there's a lot of different ways that you can go, and you kind of just have to die a lot of times to eventually figure out the right way. Hopefully this guide alleviates your need to do that, so you don't have to die over and over again picking the wrong paths. We're just going to keep on rolling through. Looks like we have an invis guy here. Mountaintop will make quick work of him. And we're going to keep on rolling. I want to say this is kind of the last area. Ran past an invis guy right there. Yeah. So the SMG would feel nice here, but I mean, not super necessary, obviously. The Polaris Lance and the mountaintop are doing perfectly fine. And it looks like that invis enemy I do have to actually kill to get this shield down, I reckon. There we go. Yep, so you do have to kill everything in that hallway. So now we're coming up on the, I guess, traversal area you would call, the jumping puzzle areas. So we'll slide on down here. Fall straight down, and then you'll see these 2 little pads. Crouch. You'll see a little spot that you can go to. If, when you're doing this, you can spam jump to go through those tunnels a little bit more quickly. We're going to come right out to the left where the ship is, and directly underneath the ship, you're going to see a little ramp that you can go down. And then we're going to take a right, fall down again, head back down this hallway, going to hop up, another little square you can go. Feel free to rewatch parts of this video, by the way, slower speeds if you want. Once you get in this room, you're going to see a grate right there, but we're actually going to come to the left. There's a grate that we can damage and come back behind this little briefcase, or bookcase rather. And then right here, at your first right, so we just came in through this area, you're going to hug the right. At your first right, you're going to shoot this. You should see 3 things right there, 3 like platforms. We're going to go right on this bottom left one. It is going to fall off right when you land, though, so make sure you kind of slide into the left right when you land on that. Then going to crouch, head down, and we're on our way. The other 5 platforms, if you land on there, they take you into tunnels that will eventually kill you, so don't go that way. Then we're going to come out here. We're going to be on the side of the tower. Mountaintop's going to make quick work of these vandals. We're going to hop over, and then we're going to hop down here. You can make it all the way to the second one, but once again, it is going to fall, so just be careful of that. We're then going to jump over here. You do want to be careful, though, because there are some exploder shanks right here. So just shoot my mountaintop right there. Once we're at this section, you'll see this thing right here. That's kind of where we're headed. So we're going to use our jumps, get all the way over to it. And then if we ADS here, we see we have some vandals here. You can try and take them out from far away. They'll be more easy to kill once you come over here a little bit, though. You'll have an easier angle because they'll actually push up on you. Just do a little strafe back and forth so they can't really hit us. There's also still that one up top. He will definitely push up to try and kill us once we land on this, though. Maybe. He'll come eventually. But we're just making our way over to this platform. Be careful of this silver grate right here. For reasons. If you're running with the team, you have a little thing that you can activate right here. That'll bring out this little platform, so your teammates, if they're still up there, they can more easily get down with you. If you're running the solo, of course, that's not a thing. But we're going to come to the back of this section, look up where that second vandal was, hop up here. And then you'll notice on this last platform, you can jump straight up into where the broken grate is. So we're going to keep on rolling, and once we get to this section, we're going to jump up and get as high up as we can. You're going to notice as you go that you're going to have some grates that you can go through. We want to completely ignore the first set because they result in dead ends, and we instead want to jump up a little higher until we get to the second level of grates. This is the one we're going to shoot and end up making our way through. And once we get through, we're going to end up at the fans section. You're going to notice some exploder shanks at each level of the fan. So we're going to hop down, land direct center, and you're going to notice that there's going to be 3, like, cavities. You're going to go on the dark red one that doesn't have anything in the way. I'm also holding the forward key while I'm going through that, right? So I make sure I land on that part, land on these, like, exhaust pipes, because obviously there's an exploder shank right there. I don't want to try to hop out of that cavity and land right here because then I'll die to the exploder shank. So I'm just holding forward, landing on there, turning around, hitting the exploder shank, and holding forward to get right back down onto the fan part. This one is a much tankier exploder shank. You can throw a healing grenade for safety if you'd like, but it's not actually necessary. And then just like that, you're through the fence. Now once we get here, you're gonna have to really work on extending your jumps. I feel like a lot of people don't know this. This is mainly for hunters. If you're doing this on a different class, it doesn't really matter. But when you're jumping on a hunter, after your jump, if you hold spacebar when you jump, as opposed to just tapping it for your boost jump, you actually go significantly further. And that's gonna be a really big deal for this section. If you have a tough time making that entire jump, you can kind of use a super cast to get the last of the distance, it kind of carries your momentum a little bit, if that makes sense. Alternatively, you can put like you can switch to strand real quick, do a grapple grenade, you can do a eager edge sword, something like that if you really want to. So we're going to continue through these corridors. This section's pretty straightforward. And now we're at the sweeper bot section, Trevor, where we're going to come to the right, hop right down, and then we're going to stare down here until we see him pass. So he's going to pass initially. The second we see him pass, we're following him. We're taking a left. There are 4 switches that we have to hit. You can also kind of jump while you're in here to speed yourself up just a tiny bit. We're going to take a hard left. It's the first left that we're going to have available to us. So you're basically hugging the left side wall. And then that's the first switch right there. And we're just going to continue, keep going. Basically, every corridor is like a U, if that makes sense. So we're going to wait for this electricity to go out, take a left again, and we're going to hug the left side wall. First left is what we're taking. So boom, right here. Again, this is another U. So that was like the main hallway we were just in. Each corridor that has one of the 4 switches that you have to activate. And now we're on like the other side of the U, right? So we entered like over there. That's not Trevor, by the way. That's just the electric field. And then we're going to go all the way around. If you look at right before you hop down here, there is a map that will show you the layout. so you can get a better understanding of it. But now we're basically we're going towards our spawn now, if that makes sense. Hitting that switch, you can effectively, I'm like, you know, you can just watch this section a couple times. The pathing's pretty straightforward. So we're gonna wait for this to come down. Take a hard left. And then once again, we're hugging the left side wall. And then this is where we do things a little different. So after we hit this switch, instead of going around and completing the U, we're gonna double back. And come right back around this way. And we're gonna wait for this electricity to go down. Now, if I recall correctly, Trevor is going to be behind us eventually. If I'm not mistaken. If you're fast enough, you can make it all the way without him getting you. Alternatively, there's a couple corridors that you can hide in right here. There was also one previously in my run. And then once he passes, you're going to take a peek. Make sure he doesn't fly down your exit. Take a hard right, and boom, there's your exit. Once you get to the exit, look straight to your right. There's going to be a platform that you can sit on. You're going to sit there's where we came out of, so... And it's gonna be a little elevator that's gonna go down in waves. It's gonna go, you know, it'll go up a little bit and it'll stop, go up a little bit more, then it'll stop. All that good stuff. You just kind of hang out here, take a breather, crack your hands, get a sip of water. Once you get close to this balcony, you do want to make sure that you hop off and get up on it because the elevator is gonna fly back down after a little bit of time. Once you're up here, one grate to hit. Go ahead and fall right on down. Try and stay centered, because there are these, those will kill you. You can also hop to slow your momentum if you're losing control. Take a hard left right after you get there. You'll see the staircase. Don't let it bait you. There's a grate right before it. That's where you want to go instead. We're going to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Fall down right here. Once you fall down, you're going to turn around 180 degrees. Come to your left a little bit. There's going to be this little symbol. That's where you go. And for this section... You have to stand on a very particular sequence. So you're basically going to go boom, 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 boom. Right, you know what? It's easier if I just show you. So column 4, and then we're going to go turn 90 degrees left, go all the way forward, 90 degrees right, go forward until we hit the second to last pad, 90 degrees right, 2 squares, 90 degrees right. We're actually going backwards a square, 90 degrees left, all the way to the wall, 90 degrees left, and then all the way to the end. Yeah. Hopefully that was easy to understand. I don't know. Maybe I made that more confusing than it needed to be. Let me know in the comments. Was that more confusing than it needed to be? I don't know. I felt like I didn't have an aerial enough view to show the later plates. That's why I just did the walk and explained as I was going. But once you're past that part, you're pretty much done with all the puzzly traversal areas. Now you're in the fighting part. So this is the combat section. That's where you're going to have to do solid. Oh, there's also a rally flag here before you go, if you'd like, so you can get your super energy and whatnot. Which is good, because I like to start this fight off by popping my super. This guy usually likes to teleport, so I'm going to wait for him to teleport. Never mind, he just chucked a grenade, so I kind of know he's not going to teleport right after he chucks a grenade. Right after I get the Goldie off, I like to come back here in this back left section. And I like to kind of chip away at all these enemies and kind of make a footing for myself. Low ground is really nice because pretty much nothing can see you. And Polaris Lance, slowly but surely, is going to take out these enemies. You can obviously get Mountaintop going. Take them out much more quickly. Yeah, take your time. Got a drag right there. And then you're going to have some solar shanks back here and a big tanky servitor. This is where the Polaris Lance comes in really nice. Just blink away at it from a long distance. It's a very tanky enemy. It's a boss tier enemy, so it has a massive health bar. But Polaris obviously is going to make pretty quick work of this thing. You have auto loading on your mountaintop. Pull it out here and there. The boss enemy is also back there, as you can see. So if he go ahead and steps in the way, you can blink away at him. Once you do a little bit of damage, you can see the damage numbers from him being scorched. He'll rotate over there. And then once he's gone, we can start to hop up and work on this turret right here. We're also going to be mindful of the Sniper Vandal over here on the left. He's gonna like to try and get over and get at us. We're just using the mountaintop. These turrets do a lot of damage. They hurt a lot, so do the Vandal snipers. So we're just taking our time with these guys. Here's another point where, again, you got some void shielded Shanks. You could switch to Graviton Lance if you wanted to. Just, you know, pop Graviton on, give them a few bursts. Gonna do work to their shields. Not really a big deal. You can honestly avoid them entirely if you want to. Because once we have that turret down, and all those enemies down, I honestly just kind of like to come to the back of this arena over here. You might have a leftover Shank or two from the back of the map. But this area is pretty safe. You're also out of range of all these snipers on these platforms, so you can just plink away at them from a distance so you don't have to deal with them later. Same thing for this turret. Auto-loading mountaintop. Plink away at it. Doesn't even know you're there. Dink, 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 and perfect. Now, I don't like to use my Nighthawk on this guy right here because he's health gated at 50% HP while he's standing over there. So, what I instead like to do is I like to chip away at this servitor right here. Mountaintop again. Chip away, chip away, chip away. You're super safe back here as long as you're strafing here and there. Nothing can hit you at all. Nope. Completely fell down, so the mountaintop definitely did not connect there. Servitor will teleport a little bit because it's like out of your range. And there we go. And then we'll hop back up. We're going to keep working on this guy. Once he gets 50% HP, he's going to teleport back to middle. And once he's teleported back to middle, that's when you can go ahead and chuck a Nighthawk on and get him the rest of the way. And that'll phase him out. He will completely go away. Once he goes back to middle, he will also spawn some invisible Marauders that will push into you, so keep in mind of that. And once he goes away, you'll have some Fall of Walkers to deal with. So these guys, I like to just blink away at one of their legs with Polaris Lance. The legs count as crits, so it is going to proc your perfect shot or whatever it is, your 5th shot. And then once they go down, I like to go Mountaintop, Rocket, a couple more shots, let the auto-loading do its work. Keep in mind of the red laser beams. If you're going for Flawless, this is obviously a pretty good viable Flawless strategy, just maybe keep in mind of where you step out. But yeah, you get the idea. Probably should stay over here to the side if you're going for Flawless, I suppose. Do one tank at a time. That tank's dead. Now we can back out a little bit. See the red laser beam. Back out a touch. Blink, 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 blink. Just cranking at the leg until, boom, it's down. Mountaintop shot, rocket. Listen for that auto-loading noise. Mountaintop shot, rocket. Mountaintop should finish the job on this fella. Maybe. I don't know. Pretty easy. Once you get both the tanks down, Civics will come back in a Brig. And for this guy, I really like coming back to my original position where I'm kind of like hanging over here, except I like to play in the middle of the map. Because he always does these rockets, and it's kind of a pain to survive them in the back of the map where I previously was. But going back and forth left and right between this area makes things pretty easy. And this guy's honestly not that bad to kill. You can just continuously weave back and forth between your mountaintop and your rocket shots. Explosive damage is pretty nice against Brigs. That's why we bring the mountaintop. That's why I bring the rocket. I'll actually go and see if we have any heavy bricks chilling back here, which unfortunately it looks like we do not. See a Marauder that I don't want to deal with. But yeah, if you stay down here, pretty much nothing pushes you. It's pretty safe. Sometimes the servitor, if you leave it alive, will immune the Brig. It can be a good idea to kill that servitor before you kill both of the tanks and spawn the Brig. I don't care too much about it. I probably should, because clearly the servitor is making life not very fun for me when it does immune the boss. You can just sneak your mountaintop shots in between. Yeah, and you got to be very careful. Another thing to mention, you got to be very careful strafing back and forth from places you've already been, because the boss usually puts the rocket shots like they trail you, if that makes sense. So if you strafe back and forth, you're going to end up back into some of the rocket shots, if that makes sense. The artillery fire. So I'm going to hang out over here. I'm going to try and just weave back and forth while I mountaintop the servitor. Because the servitor immuning the boss is kind of annoying me. And so we're just going to stay on the move so we don't die to the boss's... Don't die to the boss's artillery fire. Trying to not be airborne while I shoot the mountaintops at the servitor, because it's making it difficult to hit them. You could also just tee up a Nighthawk. Although, as you can see here, if you can get some Polaris shots off, you're pretty solid. Those ignitions do absolute work. So we're just going to blink away, continue to blink away. I was probably a little too liberal with my rocket usage. You should probably be a little more conservative with your rockets unless you have a ton of heavy ammo bricks back in that area of the arena. I probably should have just done mountaintop on the tanks, because having some rockets is really, really nice for the main brig. So learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. You can just go back and forth. I'm going to try and go out and get this mountaintop brick real quick. And we're just going back and forth. Shooting mountaintop. I'm going to try and get radiant real fast. Tough to get radiant right now because there's no crits on the brig, so you can't get it through Flint Striker. And we're just poking away. Back and forth underneath the bridge. Completely missed. That's great. You can also just, you don't even have to wait for the mountaintop to reload, I suppose, because Polaris is barely going to do any damage to him, so you can just shoot and then reload it on your own. Okay, now his face is available. Nighthawk the face. It's going to leave him with just a little bit of HP left. And then he flies up in the air. Super easy target. I can't remember what element these shanks are. I think some of them are solar. Some of them are void. Yeah. So I remember I have some shanks up over here. You do have to kill every single enemy in the arena to actually complete the mission. So we're probably going to take care of these Vandal snipers first. They're the most lethal for sure. And then we'll try and take care of these shanks with our mountaintop. Let the auto-loading do its thing. Plink, plink, plink. And then, looks like I got all the Vandals. There are some Vandal snipers in the very far back in the map, so be aware of those. Chip away at these guys. And then we can probably throw in Graviton Lance to finish the job, because they do have, these guys are all Void Shields, it looks like, except for those two, apparently. Okay, some of them are Void Shields, I suppose. But yeah, just a couple more enemies you gotta clean up. You have some invisible enemies also. But not too bad. All you gotta do is kill this last guy. Then you gotta hit the like button. Gotta hit the subscribe button down below if this helps. And yeah, that's about it. Good luck. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. As always, have a great day.